ethos for DNA. And so I pitched the idea to them and they were like, oh, this is amazing. And so, you know, they helped us pick a team, like a producer. So just to be clear, Paige Wood is in this, in the call, but that's my co-writer and my my producer. Shout out to Paige Wood, y'all. But so yeah, we pitched it there, and then we kind of just went from there, and we gathered the girls together. Bree?
TS technical difficulties.
It's giving TS Mercury retrograde. The girl.
But just to follow up on that.
Boom.
We're back.
What's good?
Oh, we're here. let me sit properly now. Like,
okay. Yes. Come through, dress. Yes.
Right. Selling it.
Okay.
We did it. Yes. Okay.
But to answer your question, Janet, I think it's really important to talk about the impact plan. So we collaborated with, TSOCP collaborated with the Film Queen Chronicles to make sure that like Black trans women were involved in all aspects of the filming. So we did some coordination and we actually partnered the girls with folks on the set. Sierra also co-directed. We had some girls doing makeup, girls were background. And so we thought it was really intentional, not just to film about girls in Detroit, but to give girls opportunity for them to be able to work with us in full capacity once Film Queen Chronicles got signed.
You know, what I was so interesting to see is that this, you know, knowing how a film or TV production takes up space in a city, and thinking about the fact that you all were there and your crew was there and there are Black trans women there. How was that for Detroit? You know, were there any, you know, just occupying that space in your city in this way with cameras on you and that focus on you? How was that experience for the two of you?
I think one of the things that the film reminded me of today is that Chanel actually lived in Martin's apartment building. And so like Detroit is just really wrapped up in there. And I think Yaya was very intentional and actually not only telling the stories of girls in Detroit, but like landmarks and making sure that like Detroit was fully represented. But Yaya, I'll let you talk a little bit more about that.
So y'all, this is my first film that I ever did. I never, I've never acted before. And I never screen wrote before, and I never directed. Like everything.
You ain't gotta know how to do all that. You can just jump in and do it, and you did it.
Exactly, and like, so that's kind of what I did. And so like that, it was a very like intimidating task to do all of this, definitely. But I think one thing that was really fun for me was like landmarks and like the locations. As far as the experience, it was people were generally really receptive. Like that cake scene, the bakery, they actually let us use that location for free. It's a Black queer owned bakery that's like in a heavily like a, what is it? Not an arts district, but like a business district that a lot of places are Black owned. And they were like excited and they let us use the space for free for those scenes. And then, but like we did have, the only thing I will say is that we did have a hard time trying to find like locations for as far as the opening scene in the liquor store. Like it was just super difficult because you know you walk in a liquor store and you're like, hey, I'm a woman and I'm trying to do a movie, like can I shoot here? And everybody's like super skeptical, or they're like, what you know about movies and da 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 da, and like, and so like every one thing I really appreciate is that every location, with the exception of the liquor store scene, was filmed in actual Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can we get into that scene? What was the inspiration for that scene?
Oh,
That scene was the perfect opening scene for a film that is centering Black trans womanhood and the shit you have to deal with and all of that. Please tell me about the breakdown of that scene. It's so good. It's so
I just
good.
want to name that I am the bad bitch that once told her that it takes two people to clock you. And yeah, I just want to thank you for like opening with that. That was like a joke that we had years ago when we first met. And it was so inspiring for that actual conversation to come back full circle and that she remembered that. But yeah, that was me.
girl, because we was keying on Facebook and we had like 20 comments laughing at that joke, bitch. Anyway, so the opening scene. So really the whole episode is called The Clock. Because, you know, you go outside, you get clocked, you know, you go home, everybody, you know, whatever. Like, but I think what the impetus for all of those scenes were to just showcase these everyday mundane situations that most people take for granted, cis people take for granted, that like can be very like agonizing and like uncomfortable. And then it was also about like, how do these girls take that power back? How do we subvert those like violent things that happen to us? So like that opening scene was something that actually happened to me. Like I ran into somebody who knew me like pre-transition and they're like, oh, but like, and you know, like cis people, they play games. So you got to play the game with them. Cause you know, right, y'all know. But like the point of it is like, you're not gonna get my tea, even though we both know our tea. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna get it until I'm ready to give it. And you're not about to clock me in the store with this big 7-foot tall man behind the counter. You're just not about to do it.
And she covered it with the tampon purchase.
Exactly. You know, don't play with me.
Don't play. Please don't. And I think it's important too, like even my scene with Ramon was really inspired around like how men will date trans women and then not want to be in a relationship with our friends. And really wanting to be clear around this fact that like we can check people. And that being really important to me because you can't sit here and say that you love me and you support me, but then say that my girls aren't, air quotes, right? And so I thought that was really important. And like throughout the whole episode, it's just us carrying about being clocked. And one of the things that's really important about this film is just showing folks the resilience of trans women and how like folks are clocking us all the time and how we take that power back. And it's okay. And we can laugh about it. And actually like show like that trans women not only like have the power to be able to like move the situation in a way and embarrass people and make them feel stupid. And that's all right. And we can do that.
What I also love so much about it is the obviously the bond. It feels very lived in, the relationships between all of the women, and also how they're all so completely their own persons, right? That they all have their own, you can feel it, they all have their own doctrines and tenets and principles and beliefs and things that have wronged them and how they operate in the world and how those things butt up against each other. And I'm so excited about, you know, the tentacles of this pilot and how you all have kind of like, I want to know more. I want to know more about, you know, your relationship and then your relationships with each other and where those things going to go. And so when you think, when you're plotting the rest of this season, where do you see it going? What are your goals and your dreams for it? What do you want to do? What are you ready to do?
I mean, you know, it's so many things. But
we want more. That's all I'm saying. Like, we want more.
So I just also want to shout out some of the people in this room, like Fatima.
Yes.
Fatima Jamal, hey girl. She was a part of our writer's room for season 1, where her and Erin Lang and a few of the other girls, we came together in Detroit and we wrote like outlines for the first season. And so right now it's been kind of like we've been trying to figure out like how to get the rest of it finished, and then kind of COVID happened. But we're looking to, I mean, I'm still staying true to wanting to complete the story. How we're still trying to figure it out, because I think the main pilot, we did it under such like on a short timeline because we had a fellowship that supported us. So now we don't exactly have that, that infrastructure anymore because we phased out of the fellowship. So we're just trying to figure out like, what's the T? Where can we go, and how can we get more development? Because it's also like important that whatever support that we do have is like, you gotta follow the impact plan of like having trans women in front of and behind the scenes, develop like artistic development, is very important. Yeah. Also, Paige Wood is over here like, any executive producers in the chat, go off. That's why she my producer.
Okay. But what about for you, Bree? What's your hopes for this project?
I mean, to tell diverse stories. So I don't know if it was like very clear in the film, but my character is Muslim, and I'm a person living with HIV. And so like, for me, it's just really exploring the complicated relationships that Black trans women have with like the world and relationships, dealing with like HIV status. I also wanted to like shine light on how the Midwest in particularly is like left out of like funding decisions for like Black trans women. Really bringing in like my experience as an executive director who runs TSOCP, and now as like a Black trans woman who's running the Black Trans Fund, the first fund for Black trans folks in the United States. And so like really wanting to like show the diversity of trans women, how we're all powerful, folks in the movement, folks who are not in the movement, like sex workers, like really showing those stories from a place of power. In a place of resilience. That's what's important to me.
Yeah, I want to ask you one more thing. Sorry, did I just speak over you?
No. I was gonna say, and paying the girls, making sure the girls are paid. Yes.
Yes. How many outlines and stuff did you guys have? What did you see the vision for this first season? How many episodes?
We were thinking anywhere between like, we kind of drafted, I believe, 8 the last time I had checked, about like 6 to 8 episodes for a season. Yeah, roughly that many, 30 minutes.
And do you like this new art form for yourself? I know you hadn't done it before, but have you gotten the bug? Is it something that you want to do and to pursue?
Yeah, like I really would like to personally write more, because I played a lot of roles in this one. But like, I find that I like directing and writing the most out of the three roles that I played. And so I have kind of caught the bug of like I have like ideas for films, one of which I want to do with my boo Eli, who's like running the chat, y'all. Shout out to him. He's like part of what makes it so possible for us to be here. Mm-hmm. I'm just really interested in writing and directing and figuring out how I can hone that. I think development is something I'm really looking forward to.
So here was a couple of questions from the audience that I wanted to include in here so we can bring their voices in. Mm-hmm. What is your dream show or movie to create? If you don't want to say an idea, what is a movie show you would like to revamp or to rewrite?
I would like to rewrite Recess. Because Recess, that cartoon with TJ and the Spinelli, and that all the Ashleys, it was about the people in 4th grade, the kids in 4th grade. No shade.
I think we got an age gap. So I'm showing my age.
But I would love to redo Recess because I need an all trans Ashley's group. I need an all trans Ashley's. Absolutely.
Is there one for you, Bree, that you would love to see rewritten or remade?
We are TS children because my remake would be The Nightmare Before Christmas with an all trans cast musical. I love that movie.
Here's another one. What does the concept of archive mean for your work?
So I think it's just really important. And actually this, we kind of briefly talked about this on a talk on Anne Hathaway's Instagram with Fatima, Tourmaline, me, and Dane and Aaron, and we talked about the role of art and social change. And one thing that Dane was talking about is like, you know, how trans people are erased out of history. And so I just think it's very important that we archive, you know, trans life and story and narrative from our viewpoint, our vantage point. But for personally, it was also important for me to highlight Detroit and the Detroit queer and trans community, Black queer and trans community, because like I said, like Detroit, you know, has a legacy of creating like you know, of like rebellion and like resolve and resilience, and also like creating like wonderful musicians and artists, but also just like but a lot of people don't think about Detroit and think of like, what is their queer life like? What is their trans? Who are the trans girls that are there? Who is the trans community? And so that was one reason that I wanted to do Film Queen Chronicles, because I wanted to archive like Black trans life in Detroit.
And for you, Bree?
I think that's an emotional question for me, because I am constantly reminded of how my work in Detroit was not honored, respected, and erased. And so, yeah, like I know firsthand how like folks organized around us didn't understand our work, never tried to understand our work. Yeah, so I'm like feeling that right now. But yeah, I'm just really happy to be able to look back and actually see that like all of the labor, all of the tears, all of the pain was actually worth it. Like I never thought in a million years that like we would be able to share our work with Janet Mock and have this conversation. And it's just like full circle for me. So like, yeah, there's a lot of pain for me coming from Detroit, you know, which is why I'm building out these larger platforms and just making sure that like Black trans women are supported in all of the work that they're doing, because film is important, supporting sex workers is important, getting Black trans people housed is important, feeding Black trans people is important. And yeah, and so, sorry.
No, please do not apologize, because, you know, I just want to affirm you and your work and your vision. The fact that you all gathered together in this and created something that will last forever, beyond just the bonds that you have with each other. The fact that you have gotten something that is so homegrown and made it happen. And also, it is so fucking good. Like, it is so good. If you need an executive producer, if you need someone to go around town and preach the gospel of this, you know, and make this even bigger than just, you know, a web series, you know, if you want to blast it out to 30 minutes and like, let's do it, because I'm here to support it. I honestly believe that it is so good. It is so good. And it's only that good because you all made it the way that it was made. So thank you so much for sharing it with us. Are there any final thoughts that you want to get to share about the project, about how people can support it, about how they can support the work of Trans Sisters of Color project and what y'all are doing in Detroit?
Bree?
Janet, I just want to personally thank you. Like, you were one of the first people that actually like supported us financially. And so that like really means a lot to me. Yeah, so folks should really be supporting Trans Sister of Color Project in Detroit. Yes, that's an organization that's working really hard right now to support Black trans women with COVID. I'm also posting a link for the Black Trans Fund, which is a newer fund that is incubated by the Groundswell Project. Shout out to the Groundswell team that is on the call. And so if folks really want to support Black trans leaders, want to support projects like the Femme Queen Chronicles, folks should be directly donating to those projects. But yeah, for that long-term support, folks should be donating to the Black Trans Fund.
And final word, Yaya?
Yeah, no, I'm echoing everything that Bree said. Someone posted the FQC Cash App. You can directly donate there. But also, like, as far as just like ways that people can support, I'm really just looking for funding and an executive producer to get it to help me get it out there. And also just like just opportunities to get the girls involved in Detroit and like pair them with skill development around like the arts and creativity. That's something.
Well, let us connect. We'll do that. Thank you both so much for sharing your work with us, for being here and having this talk back with me. I praise you both. I support you both. And we'll talk offline to see how we can strategize and get some stuff going.
Okay.
I want to introduce now Eli, the communications director, to close out answering a few questions about TGI, JP, and their work.
Hi, everybody. I appreciate you for coming. And I just wanted to say, I don't want to take this moment to like say things that like Black trans women have already said. You know, I kind of just want to. Morticia is voguing in the living room right now, so I'm sorry that I'm giggling and stuff, but Morticia just vogued from the. And I'm so nervous, I'll be honest with y'all. Everybody's like, Eli, you be out here. And I'm like, no, I'm actually growing to be shy and I don't know what's happening. So this is weird for me. So bear with me. But Miss Janetta already says what it is. So I'm just here to reiterate the videos that we watched. You know, I dropped the links, I dropped them again. Everybody that signed up, we have your email. So we'll be sending you out information of how you can support everybody. I'll be sending out links. Just what I wanted to share with people is remember that the mission of TGIJP is to work towards ending, you know, the violence that the prison industrial complex causes, right? And Bree already said how we work towards ending that. The girls got to get paid. The girls got to get fed. The people need housing. It's very basic things, right? A couple questions people ask. How do we support TGIJP? How do we work towards this? A lot of times people just think really big and you just gotta kind of like dial in who's in your community. Where are the girls in your community? How are you supporting the girls in your community? How are you connecting the girls outside of your community with other girls that are doing other stuff? Like, you know, we are the people, you know, we are the ones who lift us up. You see who's here, you see whose work we're working off of. One other question that came was about trans masculine people. And they're like, are you going to talk about trans masculine people? Hey, I am a trans masculine person. I put this together. Like, I want y'all to understand that, you know, this is for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, there wasn't a Black trans masculine short that I could find. Like, they are films. Like, shout out to Courtney. He got Still Black. Shout out to Passing. Sasha Alexander, Black Trans Media is in there. You know, shout out to Key. Shout out to all the Black trans masculine people that are out there doing the thing, our elders, you know, Lewis Mitchell. So I just want to say that recognizing that centering Black trans women in this work is not erasing anybody else is very important for a lot of us. And as we move towards abolishing the systems of oppression, we have to understand who our vulnerable people are, right? And how we get free is by uplifting one another and building relationships that are genuine, right? And mutually beneficial with one another, because I'm not your enemy. We're not each other's enemy. So that's like going on there. I talk about I'm shy when I start talking. So thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it. We'll be sending out all information how you can support. Janet, thank you so much. Oh my God, this is so dope. My baby, thank you. Ahya Simone, you are so amazing. I love showing off your work. It's like, wow. And then you got the baby Ebony in the background, like you shining. Yeah, girl, there you go. Bree, you are the reason I'm here where I am today. Without you, without your guidance, without your investment in me, listening to me bitch and moan, thank you. Miss Janetta, thank you for giving me a job. Thank you all. Black Futures Lab, thank you for helping me put this together. Everybody, thank you. And y'all have a good night.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eli, for crafting this space and building it and inviting us all to come and share it together. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye, everyone.